So in the film, you play a guy who's got about 5 days to live.
Yeah.
Do you put yourself in that headspace as an actor? Is it kind of scary to think about that?
The story kind of really covers it. You don't have to go, for me, into these kind of deep places of like, I only have 5 days to live. You just have to kind of think about what makes you feel desperate.
This is sort of like your first like hard sci-fi movie. Do you enjoy the genre?
Love it. I really love it. And some of my favorite movies, the movies that stay with me the most are, Blade Runner and Alien and Star Wars, obviously. But it's really hard to find a sci-fi movie. Like The Matrix was great, and but that didn't come my way. That was went I think straight to Keanu, and Avatar I couldn't do because of my schedule. But it's like the great sci-fi movies you can kind of count on one hand. They're few and far between.
And like the great sci-fi movies, Elysium's about more than just the sci-fi stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the sort of the political and social subtext that's in the film?
Yeah, I mean, I think like District 9, Neill's other movie, that stuff is all there, kind of underpinning the movie, and it's what makes it really kind of resonant and it makes it relevant. But it's not stuff that hits you over the head. And he doesn't even feel like movies can change behavior or impact. So he doesn't even believe in kind of message movies. But he does. He grew up in South Africa. He grew up in a third world environment. He saw that kind of inequality. He moved to Vancouver, which is like Elysium, and so those kind of issues kind of animate all of his work, and which is what he said to me. Like he loves sci-fi, but that kind of emigrating at the age of 18 from South Africa to Vancouver kind of was such an eye-opening thing that he's kind of spent his adult life kind of exercising those issues in his work.
And this is obviously his second feature. What was it like working on him? And of course, a bigger budget for him, a lot more responsibility.
Yeah, you really wouldn't know it. I mean, he's a legitimately great director, and he's unbelievably calm, and he just really creates an awesome work environment for everybody. I mean, you would not know that he's the director if you were an alien visiting from another planet. You would not pick him out as the guy who has the stress of a $90 million movie on his shoulders. He's just way too cool for that.
Talking about stress on your shoulders, we got to talk about the exosuit that you strap on. What was working with that thing like?
The guys from Weta did it, the guys down in New Zealand, and they had run it through so many, different stages of R&D that by the time it got to me, it only weighed 25 pounds. Like the whole thing distributed over my whole body was 25 pounds, which was really, nothing. I mean, when I saw the concept art and I looked at it, I was like, this is gonna be brutal. But it really wasn't. They did a great job, and I had complete mobility, which was another thing that Neill insisted on. So the Weta dudes would send like videos of stunt guys wearing the suit, like doing back handsprings and somersaults and stuff, and fighting each other, and and so by the time we started shooting, the thing was, it was pretty easy.
The fight scenes between you and Sharlto while you're wearing that, and the choreography, was that difficult?
That was actually harder than I didn't think until I got the thing on and we started to look at the choreography that actually could have been potentially dangerous because it was sharp, and it kind of stuck out. So if normally you're missing somebody by a foot with like a left hook, you suddenly got to pull it a little more, because if you actually made contact, you could slice the guy's face.
And he seems like a guy who goes for it, right?
Yeah, and Sharlto, there's no governor on him, you know what I mean? So it's like he's a very intense actor. I mean, it's what makes him a great actor, but those are the guys you got to look out for in fight scenes. The guys who really want to put emotion behind every punch. Right. you got to really, you got to chill those guys out a little bit.